So we begin in the United States, where Washington has just announced a civilian nuclear energy deal with Saudi Arabia. It's set to give the kingdom access to American technology and pave the way for US firms to win contracts for atomic energy facilities there. Well, critics fear the deal could prompt a wider arms race, encouraging others in the region to pursue a nuclear program, and that the Saudis may one day try to develop a nuclear weapon. Well, for the very latest, let's cross live to our Washington correspondent. Fraser Jackson is standing by for us. Fraser, this deal just announced, but sources have been suggesting for some hours now that this deal was going to allow Riyadh to enrich uranium and process spent atomic fuel. What exactly do we know about the detail of the deal?
Yeah, this first reported by the Wall Street Journal around 24 or so hours ago, but now made official by the White House, at least by the Energy Department. They say that this landmark deal is going to allow Saudi Arabia to enrich nuclear fuel, uranium, on its own soil with the help of American companies, specifically some American companies that have the technology to be able to build these power plants abroad. Now, that has been tried to be assuaged by the government, who say, rest assured, these agreements uphold the highest standards of nuclear safety and non-proliferation while relying on the world's best nuclear technology and scientists designed right here in the United States. Now, the Americans are trying to spin this as a win for the administration because they say this is going to expand American nuclear technology around the world, and including exports as well. They say it's going to create high-paying U.S. jobs and long-term economic growth here in the United States. But they also say it's going to strengthen America's energy and national security posture by effectively tying themselves closer to the Saudis. And they also say it's going to reinforce global non-proliferation standards and deepen the strategic partnership between the US and Saudi Arabia. So this is a landmark agreement. It's been in the pipeline for years. The Biden administration, for their part, tried to tie this to the normalization of ties with Israel. But of course, that kind of all went out of the window after October 7th. So the Americans here, the Trump administration, believing they've got this over the line, but it's not without controversy, as we said.
Yeah, talk to us a little bit about that then. We know Saudi Arabia has previously committed to not developing an atomic bomb, Fraser, but a lot of people are concerned here. What has the reaction been among Democrats and also Republicans?
Well, the chief concern is actually coming from Israel. They, for a long time, have been worried about other countries in their region having nuclear weapons and having nuclear capabilities. Of course, Israel at the moment is the only country in the Middle East that has that technology, and it's, of course, the fear of other countries developing that which has prompted these concerns from Israel, and is part of the reason, of course, why they are so concerned about Iran, for example. But politicians here in the US are also concerned about that for a similar reason. And it's not just Democrats, it's also some Republicans on the Hill as well who are concerned about that. This now will have to go through through Congress, at least a review by Congress, who will make their feelings known. There's likely to be some intense debate over it, but ultimately it appears that it will pass because the Republicans have the numbers needed to avoid a veto majority vote on Capitol Hill. But this is going to be an interesting thing to watch. The Saudis themselves have kind of gone back and forth on their various messaging about that. For example, Mohammed bin Salman, the de facto ruler of Saudi Arabia, has said that he would build a nuclear weapon if Iran gets a nuclear weapon. Now, of course, Donald Trump says that he wants Iran not to have a nuclear weapon, and that is why he is still going forward with the negotiations in Iran and also striking Iran as well. But obviously the Saudis there saying that they are willing to go that extra distance, not just to enrich for civilian means, but also for a more weapons approach. And one of the problems that people are concerned about is that one of the terms President Trump has had to agree to get that may limit the amount of foreign oversight which is able to take place in Saudi Arabia once this program is up and running. So there are some legitimate concerns come from multiple sides, but it appears that this is kind of inevitable at this point and will be getting over the line for President Trump and his administration.
Fraser, for now, thank you. That is our Washington correspondent, Fraser Jackson, joining us with that breaking news. The US just announcing a nuclear energy deal with Saudi Arabia.